UCLA 38-28. Frank Fort and John Congemi, and thrilled to be joined in the booth right now by Dwight Stevenson, the newest member of the Hall of Fame from the Miami Dolphins. And he is the game chairman of the Micron PC Bowl. Always great to see you. You've already invited the Miami Hurricanes and the North Carolina State Wolfpack to your game. And, you know, Miami's come out and played a real strong game today against a great football team. You must be thrilled about the matchup you're going to have.
Absolutely. I mean, the Miami Hurricanes playing a great game here and an exciting game. And we're looking forward to having them up at Pro Player Stadium there.
How much does it help having a local team involved in the game? Well, we'll get to it right after this play.
Okay.
It's a 2nd and 6 for UCLA at the 33-yard line of the Bruins. Keith Brown, the only running back. Fake to Brown. McNown with plenty of time. Over the middle, wide open, Polly Dixon in Miami territory. Polly Dixon spins out of Edward Reed's tackle. Polly Dixon fumbles a football, and Miami's got it. Al Blades comes up with the football after a big play from Brian Polly Dixon.
Well, we were talking about the big plays for UCLA during the break and how they were breaking Miami's back. Well, this time it pays off in Miami's fortune. Just determined to get the football. They found a way to get the football away from Polly Dixon. He's 6'5", 205, and really it looks like Miami just busts the coverage. He's coming from the right-hand side of your screen again. McNown, with great time and protection, just lets him clear Al Blades and delivers a strike down the field. Now, Polly Dixon is going to try to make Edward Reed pay, but right there as he's trying to switch the football, he loses it, and Al Blades, number 7 for the Hurricanes, the right man in the right spot, picks up the loose ball.
All right, let's get back to Dwight. How much does it help having a local team in the bowl game?
It does. I mean, University of Miami has had great tradition, and they've always been able to bring a lot of fans and put them in the stands, so we're looking forward to having them there.
1st and 10 Hurricanes at their 14-yard line after the turnover. Najee Davenport across the 15 to the 17-yard line. Picks up about 3 or 4. Dwight, just tell us about some of the other activities you're going to have going on in conjunction with the bowl game.
We're going to have a beach party, of course, showing everybody how nice the beaches are that time of the year. And then we're going to have banquets for the players and, welcoming them back and bringing the players down here so that they can see South Florida. And some other activities.
14-20 to go, 4th quarter. Miami down 10. They have the football, 2nd and 7. Give to Davenport, following Nick Williams. Davenport to the 20, still on his feet, ushered out of bounds at about the 23 or 24, and should have enough for a Miami 1st down. Dwight, it's kind of ironic that a Big East team is coming to your bowl game because the actual affiliation with the Big East ended in last offseason, but you didn't have a 6th Big Ten team qualify with 6 wins. So then the options come down to any team at large. Is that the case?
That's the way it happened. And again, like I said, we feel very, very fortunate to get the University of Miami here. They're playing an exciting game here today and stand a real good chance of winning this ball game. We're just very, very happy with that.
We'll give you that ticket information once again after this play. 1st and 10 for the Canes. Davenport remains in at tailback. And Najee has the football and lost it. And I think he got back on it. Yeah, it is 2nd down. Miami retains the football. Davenport making the recovery of his own bobble. Dwight, as game chairman, what are your responsibilities?
Well, I was supposed to help make the team selection and then do certain events like welcoming the team to South Florida and being a part of all the activities during that week leading up to the bowl game.
If we can get off the bowl for just a second, I'm going to ask you about your induction into the Hall of Fame after this 2nd and 9 play for the Hurricanes.
Pressure again, Frank, man coverage.
Larry Atkins, the safety, moving up on the line of scrimmage. They give it to Davenport. And Davenport tripped up and gets out to the 39-yard line, picked up about 4. It'll bring up 3rd and 5 for Miami. Atkins credited with the tackle. Dwight, obviously your career was cut short, but you played enough in the league, just a little bit short of a decade, to where you were recognized. And just tell me what that day was like in Canton, Ohio for you.
That day was just a day that I never expected to experience, but being there and now having all my family and my friends and coaches, I mean, it was very, very special. The Hall of Fame is something that I never, ever thought or dreamed about. It's just a huge honor, and I'm just very, very happy to be there.
I know we're all proud of you here in South Florida for going into the
well deserved.
We congratulate you on that. Big 3rd down and about 4 for Miami. Fake to James.
They got him down the field, Frank.
Corner route.
Oh,
Santana Moss makes the catch at the 35. Moss will score a Hurricane touchdown, his 1st since the Florida State game, and Miami can draw back within 3 points with a successful conversion.
That's got to make you happy, big fella.
Absolutely. I mean, we can't ask for a better team. We really are happy with it. We got players that should be playing on the next level in a couple of years here, if not next year.
Well, Frank, we talked about Santana Moss not catching a touchdown pass since the Florida State game, and UCLA has been doing this to the Miami secondary. It was time to trade hats, and a great route by Santana Moss, just getting away on the corner route, did a great job of getting away from the cornerback and just escapes the tackle at about the 15-yard line and gets in for the Miami Hurricane touchdown.
71-yard touchdown play for Santana Moss, his 8th touchdown of the year. Popovich to hold. Crossland's conversion is good, and with 12:34 left to go in the 4th quarter, it's UCLA 38, Miami 35. And I said it at halftime, whatever the fans paid to get into this game, they're getting their money's worth and more.
Well, it was a maximum protection, Frank. They kept everybody in a one-man route to the outside. It was man coverage. All Scott Covington had to do was lob the football up, and you see Ryan Rock, 33, just cannot make the tackle on Santana Moss, and it's a huge touchdown for the Canes.
It's Miami down by 3. Scott Covington with the touchdown pass. We'll be back with more at the Orange Bowl right after this on Sports Channel. To 35, only a 3-point deficit now with 12:34 left to go, as the Hurricanes have scored the last 2 touchdowns. Santana Moss 71 yards, and look at that Miami sideline going crazy.
Well, they got the emotion back, and you see Reggie Wayne trying to help him run along the sideline to get him into the end zone, but it's been a long time since Santana Moss has found the end zone, and it was very important to find it on that play.
At the goal line, Ryan Rock knocked down by Marquise Fitzgerald.
Wow.
At the 17-yard line as Marquise got all up in his grill.
That was a bullet. Marquise Fitzgerald, that's the team that has really been scaring me the most for the University of Miami. Has been the kick cover team. UCLA's done a nice job of getting the football, but watch his bullet on the bottom of the screen right there. A knockout blow. Marquise Fitzgerald coming in with authority.
Well, we want to thank Dwight Stevenson, the game chairman of the Micron PC Bowl. Dwight, thanks very much for being with us. Once again, for ticket information, you can call the Micron PC Bowl, call Ticketmaster, or call 1-800-GO-CANES for information. Dwight, thanks a lot.
Dwight.
Thank you, Frank.
All right. Dwight Stevenson, ladies and gentlemen. 1st and 10 for UCLA from their 17-yard line. And whistle stop this play before it gets started. The Miami scoring drive, by the way, 5 plays, 87 yards, 2 minutes and 12 seconds. And it's the 5th Miami touchdown drive of at least 70 yards.
Offense. 5-yard penalty remains first down.
Cade McNown today, 18 of 24, 396. As you see the Miami scoring drive, 87 yards, and they've had 5 long scoring drives, John. McNown, 18 out of 24, 396 and 5 touchdowns. Covington, 14 out of 23, 236 and 2 scores. And of course, Edgerrin James with 288 yards rushing. 1st and 15 after the penalty on UCLA. That's their 7th penalty of the game. On 1st and 15, Deshaun Foster, the lone running back. Foster with the football. Hit by Chevin Marshall. Picked up only a yard. Chevin Marshall, the true freshman out of South Dade High School, 6'2", 230 pounds, put in a very tough position today, having to fill in for Nate Webster, the top tackler in the Big East. Nate averaging 13 tackles a game, and that's a lot to ask of a true freshman in a game of this magnitude. Sean Stewart, the UCLA center, is a little bit slow getting up.
And we talked about Troy Danoff earlier being out of the game, the backup center. See who the Bruins answer with.
Looks like it's going to be Oscar Cabrera moving over from guard, if I'm reading the huddle correctly. No,
actually, that Troy Danoff came back in the game.
Back in the game is Troy Danhoff, the freshman from Albuquerque, New Mexico. You mentioned it before, John, and I said there's 8, excluding kickers, 8 of UCLA's first 44, the 2-deep depth chart, are seniors. So, I mean, these guys, and of course they lose McNown, which is it's a huge loss. But they're going to be back at a force in the Pac-10 next year for sure.
Yeah, they're a terrific football team. They really do everything well. Defensively, you know, they've played well enough to stay in the game. But as you said, Frank, losing Cade McNown, you're going to have to, you know, stop football teams next season. But they've got a fight on their hands right now. The Miami Hurricanes putting up 35 points, and Butch Davis in that sideline and the Orange Bowl back into this football game.
Miami led at halftime 21-17. UCLA scored 3 unanswered touchdowns in the 3rd quarter. They led it 38-21. But Miami coming back with 2 scores here in the 4th. And how about that, the only turnover of the game by Brian Foley-Dixon, the fumble at the Miami 14-yard line, and Miami turns that into a score, so that may be a 14-point swing right there. 2nd and 13 for UCLA. McNown. Pass on the outside, complete to Farmer. Nate Brooks shoves him out up at the 31-yard line, but that is a Bruin first down.
Yeah, it looked like there was a little confusion in the Miami secondary. Edward Reed and Al Blades trying to communicate to say, get back, don't give the big play away again. But McNown stands tall in the pocket, perfect protection. He throws a rifle shot out to Danny Farmer on the out route, and they convert for a first down.
1st and 10 at the Bruin 31 with 11:46 left to go in the 4th quarter. Nate Brooks and Leonard Myers, now the Miami corners. Reed in motion. Give to Foster. Foster met by Dan Morgan, and then Nate Brooks helps out, and they hold it to no gain.
Boy, what a nice play by number 44, Dan Morgan. He came into the game with 131 total tackles. That time he just scrapes down the line of scrimmage until he finds a ball carrier. Nice aggressive play. He has a nose for the football, and without his playing mate Nate Webster next to him, this linebacking core of Dan Morgan, Chevin Marshall, Michael Smith, you've seen Rod Mack, you've seen Chris Campbell, they've all had to elevate their play.
2nd and 10 for UCLA. McNown under pressure, over the middle, caught by his tight end Grieve, up near midfield. Grieve still going, and Morgan and Blades make the tackle at the Miami 49-yard line. Well, UCLA just keeps coming up with big play after big play.
They have a knack for making the big play, Frank, and they're making the Canes pay. Looked like Edward Reed, number 20, almost gambles on the play and looked like he was going to come up with a play, but just a great throw by McNown. He put the ball high enough where only his receiver could get it. Grieve, he's 6'4", 248, the senior tight end, goes up and gets the football. But another great headsy play. You see the numbers, 20 of 26, 5 touchdowns and 433 through the air.
Darrell Price, the fullback, has the football and gets only half a yard. Derek Ham in on the tackle, along with, looks like Adrian Wilson, number 96, coming up off the stack. That'll bring up 2nd and 9.
Greg, I want to go back to that play where McNown threw the football down to Grieve. He's done that 3 or 4 or 5 times today where he's just gotten rid of the football about a second before he's going to get hit. And he has an uncanny ability to find his receivers when he's under duress. And that's a sign of just a terrific quarterback.
Yeah, Chevin Marshall was coming on a blitz, and McNown got rid of it just in time. 2nd and 9. Fake to Foster. McNown. Corner route. Farmer open again against Leonard Myers, and a flag down.
There was some contact down the field with Farmer, and it looked like number 22, Leonard Myers. This may go offensive.
Pickup was about 13 yards and good for a first down. We'll see if it stands. It's going to be holding against Miami. Let's take an ISO look at Farmer working against Leonard Myers.
There was some contact right there. You get a grab by Myers, but there was more contact than that. No, I guess there wasn't.
No.
Looked like both guys were trying to get in with some hand fighting, so I don't know. That's probably a better no call than a call.
Absolutely. From the Miami 36 now, UCLA on the move. 10 minutes and 7 seconds left to go in the 4th quarter. It's UCLA 38, Miami 35. Frank Forth and John Congemi with you on a game that's been absolutely terrific. UCLA again with that double tight end. Give to Foster. Foster finds a crease. Dan Morgan hauls him down at the Miami 30, but it's a gain of 6 with 10 minutes now to go in the 4th quarter.
UCLA running game has come alive a little bit more in the second half than the first half, and they're running for 4, 5, and 6 yards. Great job by the offensive line. You see number 98, Sweeney, going to the inside, but a nice down block by Andy Myers, 78, going to the outside, along with Oscar Cabrera, number 59. They did a nice job in the middle of the football field.
2nd and 4. Again, Foster. This time, man. Michael Smith with a great tackle. No gain.
Great instinct by number 59, Michael Smith. Well, he had a jump on that one, didn't he, Frank?
Yes, he did. It was shot across the line of scrimmage. Look at number 59 again, the junior out of Riviera Beach.
Yeah, he looked like he was on a game going from our right to left, and it looked like man coverage, and he was probably responsible for the first back out. He did a nice job of scraping down the line of scrimmage and holding UCLA to a 3rd and 4 opportunity.
3rd and 4. UCLA with 3 wide receivers in. McNown, straight drop, over the middle, caught, first down. Mike Grebe, the tight end, once again, this time at the Miami 23-yard line.
Grebe and Chevin Marshall, number 41. There's a lot of contact down the middle of the field. You've got a freshman linebacker against a senior tight end. Let's see if the senior pushes off and uses his leverage. McNown, a lot of time, you see the Miami Hurricane player down in the middle of the football field. It looked like Grebe. There was a little contact. He pushed off, open, first down. He did what he had to do in the middle of the football field to get open.
Mike Grebe had only 11 catches coming into the game, but for a 17-yard average. And he's been a key factor for UCLA today. First down, pitch to Foster. Foster looking for a hole. Got away from Dan Morgan, and then Edward Reed had to finish him off at the Miami 15-yard line. That's a pickup of a little over 8 yards. You don't get away from Dan Morgan very often, but his effectiveness has been limited the last 3 games by that broken thumb. Playing today for the first time without a cast since he broke that thumb.
Yeah, you see him right there. He had the beat on Foster, and he waited for some help.
Here's Foster again, got away from a tackle, still going inside the 10-yard line, and he'll have a UCLA first down.
A lot of missed tackles out there, Frank, right now. A lot of Hurricanes bouncing off of Bruin running backs.
Al Blades and Marquise Fitzgerald made the tackle, and Blades is sitting now on the UCLA sideline. A little slow to get up. It'll be 1st and goal for the Bruins at the Miami 8. 7:56 left to go in the 4th quarter. Miami defense, this young Miami defense hasn't come up really with any answers today, aside from the 1 fumble recovery against this UCLA offense.
And the Bruins have answered right now, Frank. They've taken the ball almost the distance of the field with only a 3-point lead. Now 7:56 left to go in the game.
Miami has taken a timeout. 7:56 left to go, 4th quarter at the Orange Bowl. It's UCLA 38, Miami 35 with the Bruins threatening. We'll be right back on Sports Channel after this. The Bruins by 3, threatening at the Miami 8-yard line. The last 3 games, including this one, the Bruins have allowed 0 sacks.
And Miami's been close on many occasions, but you know, you have to credit that to the offensive line, of course, but Cade McNown has done a nice job of really holding on to the football when he's had to, but when he's had to get rid of it, he makes the offensive line really look good because he has a knack of finding the open receiver just as the defender is bearing down on him.
Cade McNown, 6'1½". They're sure to get that half in there in the official listings.
It's always good.
209-pound senior from West Lynn, Oregon. 1st and goal, UCLA. Miami showing blitz, and they jumped. And let's see if Dan Morgan claiming that somebody simulated the snap. We'll see if the officials agree with them.
That ball, offsides.
They do not.
It's the defense. The penalty is half the distance to the goal. Remains first down.
That's the 2nd time the Canes have been guilty of that, showing blitz and jumping.
Yeah, the first time
zone.
Edward Reed, and it looked like there was about 4 or 5 players coming in right on top of the ball. Michael Lawson, you see, and 92 Lewis along with Dan Morgan. Have to keep your patience even though you're trying to bring some heat.
3 tight ends in. Give to Foster. Foster tackled by Michael Lawson as he got to the 3. Well, if UCLA can punch it in here and put the lead back up to 10, then the clock becomes their ally with 7:43 to go at this moment and the clock moving.
Boy, you're right, Frank. Miami had the perfect opportunity to bring their defense on the field, only trailing by 3 points. But this is why UCLA is ranked 2nd in the nation. They have a terrific offense. They score a lot of points, and they're proving it again today.
2nd and goal for the Bruins. Foster again. Deshaun Foster. Deshaun Foster stretches and does not get to the goal line. About a half a yard short.
Edward Reed coming up from the secondary position. This is where you have to be a little bit smarter, though. Reed really trying to go for the knockout punch. It would have been better if he just wrapped his arms around Foster and held him to no gain. Watch this shot right here. He actually almost throws a block. He doesn't go to tackle him. He actually tries a knockout punch. I think maybe Michael Smith may have knocked him off with the tackle. Actually, that's my fault. It looked like he did try to break down and get him down, but Michael Smith was so aggressive and knocked Edward Reed off the tackle.
There's a timeout on the field with 7 minutes exactly to go in the fourth quarter. It'll be 3rd and goal for UCLA. The ball just inside the Miami 1-yard line. Well, John, I think Miami can be satisfied, at least in this sense. They have bounced back from that debacle at Syracuse last week. Certainly UCLA was the favorite in this game. Clearly the better football team, the deeper football team. But you wondered how Miami would respond after last week. That's a tough thing to come back from. And certainly the way they came out in the first half and the way they've come back in the fourth quarter from that 17-point deficit, you would say that they've ridden the blow at Syracuse pretty well.
Well, I thought the latter was more important. I expected them to come out and play well early. What I didn't expect was them to come back the way they did. It would have been very easy for Miami after the loss last week of just really fold up tent, go to their bowl game, try to beat NC State and call it a season. But they've really tried to find a way to get back into this football game. And if it hasn't been for Cade McNown and this explosive offense, they've done a terrific job moving the football in their own regard, putting up 35 points. They just can't stop the UCLA Bruins, and really the team that has the ball last may win this football game.
Let's take a look. Earlier this week, the Big East coaches released their all-Big East team, and our congratulations to Richard Mercier, Bubba Franks, Edgerrin James, Derek Ham, Dan Morgan, and Nate Webster, all named to the first team. Santana Moss and Leonard Myers, second team all-Big East, and Joaquin Gonzalez, the Rookie of the Year. So congratulations to all those Hurricanes. John, I'll put this out. With 90% of the quarterbacks in America, UCLA wouldn't be winning this game right now.
No, they wouldn't.
With Cade McNown, they're winning it.
That's a good point, Frank. He's one of the best in the country.
3rd and goal. Everybody in tight for the Bruins. They have not yet marked the ball ready for play. Now they have.
Oh, how important this is to keep them to only a field goal opportunity.
Fake to Foster. McNown on the rollout. McNown sprinting to the corner. McNown, touchdown. He outraced Edward Reed to the corner and got the touchdown for the Bruins.
Not only can he throw the football in the pocket, but he has tremendous speed to the outside, something that I didn't expect him to win that foot race with Edward Reed. He had a couple steps on him, but still, it takes great ability to go and try to play fake and really stop your momentum and then go from inside out. You see Edward Reed gets a late jump, and McNown has a couple steps on him. But watch the effort right here. He gets it in the end zone any way he can. He just gets to the pylon for the score. That's a great effort by a senior quarterback.
So with 6:54 left to play, Chris Saylor on to attempt the extra point and try to put the lead back out to 10 again. Saylor's boot is through there and good. Son of a sailor, as Jimmy Buffett once said.
That's true.
And with 6:54 left to go in the fourth quarter, UCLA has stretched their lead out to 10 again. It's the Bruins 45, the Hurricanes 35. Back with more on Sports Channel right after this. Trail it by 10 once again. The 6th annual HIP Golf Classic to benefit the University of Miami Student Athlete Scholarship Fund will be held Monday, January 18th at the Weston Hills Country Club. Great golf for a great cause. Call 305-284-2491 today. So the Hurricanes, John, had pulled back within 3 points at 38-35, but UCLA responds with a 14-play, 83-yard drive, and they take 5:40 off the clock, and McNown caps it off 3rd and goal with the sprint out for the touchdown.
Well, he's been masterful all afternoon, and he deserves one rushing. He's already thrown 5 touchdown passes on the day, 22 of 28 for 453. Just a spectacular afternoon for that young man.
Saylor to kick off. Davenport and Jones are deep. Jones has to run up to the 16 to catch the football. And then Darrell Jones brought down at the 30-yard line. Jason Stevens making the tackle on the Bruins special teams. Miami starts 1st and 10 right there. 6:46 to go in the fourth quarter. It's been a wide open, wild, entertaining game. And we were talking during the break, John, that what had been a pretty decent defensive year for the Hurricanes through 9 games, giving up 18 points a game. Well, last game they give up 66, this game 45, so they've given up over 100 points in the last 2, and they'll throw their defensive numbers all out of whack for the year. What was a pretty good defensive year is going to turn into a mediocre one with these last 2 ball games. Bubba Franks in motion on 1st and 10. Reverse coming to Santana Moss. Got a good block from Robert Hall. Santana Moss down the sideline, skips out at the Miami 41-yard line and should have enough for a 1st down.
Those are the blocks you love as an offensive lineman because you're always blocking the guy right in front of you. That's how you see the big smile on Robert Hall's face. He knew he had a knockout shot coming. He blocks down and then he just waits around the corner. He said, come on, here's my knockout shot, here's my highlight reel shot, and he does it. And Santana does a nice job of just getting in as much as he can on the reverse for a 1st down.
It is a 1st down for the Hurricanes. 6:39 to go now, fourth quarter. Ball just across the Miami 40-yard line. Canes trail it by 10. Fulcher in motion. Covington on the sprint out.
Got him.
Plenty of time. Going for Andre King, and he cannot make the catch. Flag down. That is interference on the defensive back, Marquise Anderson, who never turned around for the ball, and that's why the flag was thrown.
Never made a play on the football. You're exactly right, Frank. It looked like Moss had him, or actually Andre King had him beat down the sidelines. The ball came up just a touch short, but watch this. He's got a step right here if the ball's in the air. It looks like he has to throttle it down just a touch. And he moves him in himself in a position to catch the ball, almost pins it on Marquise Anderson's back, but there's the flag right there. Marquise never made a play on the football.
Yeah, you got to turn the head around, at least make the effort to turn your head around, and you'll get away with that. But if you don't turn around, they're going to call that every time. So it costs UCLA 15 yards, and the ball moved to their 44-yard line.
Assess the previous spot.
Marquise Anderson, 6 feet even. 182-pound sophomore out of Long Beach. 9 pass breakups on the year, but the Hurricanes have picked on him quite a bit today.
They really have.
1st and 10 from the Bruin 44. Give to James. James through a crease. James, great move. Edgerrin knocked down from behind by Santee Hall at the Bruin 30-yard line, but Edgerrin picks up almost 15, and that should put him over 300 yards rushing today.
Wow, just a spectacular afternoon, but you can thank Santee Hall if you're a Bruin fan, because this is the only thing keeping Edgerrin from gaining another 15 or 20 yards. Watch the right here in the back, number 95, just gets his right ankle, it looks like, and really knocks him off his feet. But what a terrific run, and credit this offensive line. Edgerrin James running wild, but the offensive line and the tight ends are doing a terrific job of providing him room to run.
Timeout called by the Hurricanes. Unofficially now, up here in the booth, we have Edgerrin James for 302 yards rushing.
I'm tired watching him, Frank.
Oh, man. I'll tell you what. And you know what? He was voted all Big East by the coaches. The football news, because the coaches selected 3 running backs. They picked Zeraway from West Virginia, Mike Cloud from BC, and Edgerrin James from Miami. The football news only chose 2 running backs. They made Edgerrin James second team behind Zeraway and Cloud. You look at the performance he's put on today, and you wonder, now granted, those are all great, all 3 of them are great running backs.
Well, I tell you what, the performance he's given the Miami Hurricanes the last 5 games has just been astounding. He's done a great job of giving them balance on offense. You know, they can really, if they load up and try to stop Edgerrin James, it gives Scott Covington the room to drop back and throw the football. But conversely, when there's room to run, Edgerrin knows how to pick his holes and pick and choose where he's going. You see 37 carries for 303 and 2 touchdowns, and there's still 6:15 left to go in this football game.
Edgerrin James, maybe his last game at the Orange Bowl. He is a junior. He's got a decision to make, whether he's going to come out at the end of this year. You know, if he comes back, John, it's not inconceivable to think of him as a Heisman Trophy candidate.
Oh, definitely. I think he would be pretty close, you know, the top 5 guys coming back, but in my personal opinion, I don't think he's going to be back.
1st and 10 from the Bruin 30. Fake to James.
Got him.
Covington on the rollout. Wide open. Mondrell Fulcher. Touchdown, Miami. 6:08 still to play, and the Canes can get back within 3.
That's the play that Scott Covington missed down the middle of the field earlier to Bubba Franks. We talked about it on 3rd and 5. This time they come back with the exact play. Only Mondrell Fulcher in the game. He gets his first touchdown pass of the season. Scott Covington had enough time on the play action fake to find him just about at the 10-yard line. Just a great call and a great play action fake by Covington. Take a look. You'll see Fulcher coming from the left side, goes right across the grain, and Scott Covington says, just get it there. He hits him about the 10-yard line and gets in for the Canes touchdown.
Crossland out of Popovich's hole. Trying to make it a 3-point game once again. Crossland's kick is good, and with 6 minutes and 8 seconds, Miami is back within 3 at 45-42. One more look at the touchdown to Mondrell Fulcher, and that is, John, his first touchdown of the season.
Yeah, Covington did a nice job with the play action, and Fulcher did a nice job of sneaking across the formation from left to right. They've run this play a couple times. You see Scott Covington, he would love to make a statement against UCLA, being from California. This is the game he's looked forward to all season long. In talking with him during the week, he just really pointed at this game all season long to really come out and make a great performance.
You know, we're real excited about this game, and we should be, but, you know, they play a lot of these type of games out in the Pac-10. UCLA's had a bunch of them this year. But I'll tell you what, this may go down as one of the great games in Orange Bowl history. Orange Bowl lore is being extended today. You think of the Miami-Boston College game,
right,
the Hale Flutie game. This is a similar type game where neither defense can stop the other offense.
Whoever has the ball last, Frank, I really do believe is going to win this football game. And Miami in a position right now that they can come out and make a stand on defense. They really haven't done it all day long. With 6:08 left, they have to find a way to stop Cade McNown on third down. The conversions, I don't know what they are, but it's very high for Cade McNown in making plays on third down.
We're told the average yards per play. There's the Miami scoring drive. 3 plays, 70 yards, 46 seconds. UCLA is averaging 9.7 yards a play. Miami 8.7.
Unreal.
I think the defensive coordinators,
they're shaking their head.
Watch
That's right.
tonight. Well, I said it was going to be a sleepless week for Bill Miller, the defensive coordinator, after last week at Syracuse and then with UCLA coming in.
In saying all that, too, Miami's in a great position right now to really come up. If they come up with one stop, that's all people will talk about.
Short kickoff with the win. This is Rock, and Rock hit by Devon Rhodes at the 27-yard line, and that's where the Bruins will start 1st and 10. So with 5:58 left to go, we mentioned the third down conversions. Listen to these numbers. UCLA 8 out of 11, Miami 10 out of 14.
It's amazing.
It's just, if you're a defensive coordinator, you shake your head and say, well, you know, what else can we do?
Well, after you pick yourself off the ground, you shake your head.
There's Butch Davis talking to Todd Severs, the kicker, and where's the D? 111 points in the last 2 games surrendered by the Hurricanes. And as I said, a pretty good defensive year is going to get thrown way out of proportion by these last 2. 1st and 10 from the 27. Lewis is the running back. Lewis has the football. Following a big block, got away from Edward Reed, but then could not skip away from Quincy Hips, who held it to a 3-yard gain.
Well, this defense is playing with a lot of enthusiasm because they can feel that they're back in this football game, that they fought the battle all the way back to get it within 3 again, and they know the pressure, and really the game hinges on how they perform. The offense has done a great job. You see Morgan and Blades at the end of that tackle, but this game really hinges on them and stopping this McNown-led offense.
2nd and 7. Pitch to Lewis. Lewis hit by Quincy Hips as he drilled him for no gain.
That play was an excellent play made by Dan Morgan into Quincy Hips. Morgan forced the running back to the inside, and number 90 was waiting for him right there. Take a look at Morgan 44. Foster wants to go to the outside. Or, I'm sorry, Lewis wants to go to the outside, but he's there. He can't go there. He has to turn it back in, and Quincy Hips was right in the right spot. He stayed home where he should be and makes a big play on 2nd down.
UCLA 8 of 11 on the third down conversions. It's 3rd and about 7. 4:50 left to go. McNown straight drop. Pressure coming over the middle, complete to Wilkins. Backup wide receiver out to the 42-yard line, and that is a pickup of 12 and a 1st down.
I guess this is just a routine day at the office for Cade McNown, because on 3rd down, he's done just an excellent job of standing back. Watch him just sidearm this. He flicks it just back off of his left foot, just flicks it right around between Morgan and Rod Mack for the 1st down.
There was an opportunity maybe for Dan Morgan to make a play there because McNown didn't have a real big throwing lane, but Wilkins snuck in behind Morgan.
But he did put it to the upfield shoulder. I mean, he's done everything right.
Breathe in motion. Give to Lewis. Lewis tackled by Morgan. Got up to the 44-yard line, get about 2. 4 minutes, 10 seconds, and the clock moving here at the Orange Bowl. It's UCLA 45, Miami 42. Timeouts remaining. The Bruins have 2, Miami only 1.
Yeah, that could be critical. Miami had to waste a couple timeouts earlier in the 2nd half. They have 1 timeout remaining with 3:55 and counting. Clock really on the side of the Bruins.
From the UCLA 44, 2nd and 8. McNown with play fake. Steps up in the pocket. Throwing deep down the middle. Myers up with Farmer, and Myers knocked it away.
Leonard Myers makes your heart race every time he's in a jump ball situation. It looks like I remember earlier in the game, he lost his footing on the one play on the sideline to Farmer. This time McNown steps up again from the pressure and finds a way to get the ball downfield under duress of Dan Morgan. But watch him, just mistimes his jump just a touch and almost gets out-battled for the football. But what a great fight for the football between Farmer and Leonard Myers.
Yeah, Leonard missed on the initial one, but look him come back and scratch and scrape and knock this ball away.
Almost ended up catching it.
3rd and 8 for the Bruins. 3rd down conversions, 9 out of 12. Out of the shotgun. Stepping up in the pocket. Rifles it wide open, complete to Melsby. And Melsby down at the Miami 25-yard line. Edward
That
Reed
ball
making
came
the tackle.
out. The Miami ball.
Miami ball. Delvin Brown came up with it. Wow.
I think I did what you did, Frank. I put my head down to see what was going on the field, and I didn't see the ball come out until late. Let's take a look. What a devastating shot by number 20, Edward Reed. The right knee's down, and that ball came out. That's a bad call again by the Big East officiating crew. But you see number 24, Delvin Brown, in on the recovery. He was clearly down.
His knee was down, and Bob Toledo's got a right to complain. But it is Miami football. Well, we've seen that call missed a couple times this year when the ball came out before the knee. This time Miami benefits from the call. 1st and 10 from the 26, 3:24 left. Give to Davenport. Davenport across the 35. Still going at the 40, down to the 42-yard line. Has a Miami 1st down. Larry Atkins making the tackle.
I like the formation. They spread the Bruins out. They put Edgerrin James out as the lone receiver to the near side with a one-back set. You see the 2 wide receivers to the top of your screen. Now you just follow Robert Hall and Richard Mercier, and Davenport does a nice job of cutting back to the inside and getting a Hurricane 1st down.
Looked to be a couple of holds by Miami, but
Miami getting some breaks here.
Yeah, the Big East crew, you know, they missed an obvious one on one of the UCLA touchdowns. And the Hurricanes get a break there from the 42. Covington on the rollout. To the sideline, caught by Andre King, maybe a half a yard shy of a 1st down in UCLA territory.
Andre King running terrific routes to the outside. He's really closing the cushion on number 7. The cornerback for the Bruins does a nice job on Marquise Anderson again. Hurricanes move the pocket intentionally to give Covington some room. He waits till the last possible second. Wanted to go to Santana Moss, but he had fell down on the route. Goes outside of the comeback route to Andre King. It brings up a 2nd and 1.
2:52 left to go, 4th quarter. Canes down by 3. They'll give it to James, trying to get the 1st down. This could turn into a really bad play. And James is going to go down back at the Miami 46-yard line. That's just hideous on a 2nd and 1.
Yeah, and you keep the clock running as well. 2:38 and 7 and counting now. Edgerrin James running the length of the field really to lose about 5 yards.
That'll take him back under 300, I believe. But on a 2nd and 1, you just got to put your head down and go up the field.
Well, there's no running room at the point of attack. You give the Bruins credit. Yep. There was nowhere to run up. Really, the best play he could have done was really just to fall down at the line of scrimmage and take a 1-yard loss.
That brings up 3rd and 6 now at the Miami 46.
Here comes pressure, man-to-man. You got to make a play.
Bruins come on the blitz. Miami picks it up as Covington moves out of the pocket. Throw to the sideline, complete to Andre King at the UCLA 35-yard line.
Great call by Larry Coker. Man-to-man, you get pressure. You got 8 people in the box. Everybody's going to try to force the quarterback. So what do? You move the pocket to the right. You move it by yourself, and now the Bruins are in pursuit. They can't catch up. Nice job on the corner by Gonzalez and number 18, Mondrell Fulcher. But they've been making a living on this comeback route. It's Covington to King for another 1st down.
From the UCLA 35, 2 minutes and 1 second left to go. We'll reiterate the score. It's UCLA 45, Miami 42. First down, Covington to throw. Outside to his tight end, Bubba Franks, complete down to the 24-yard line. That's good for a 1st down, I believe, as Larry Atkins made the tackle.
Yeah, Bubba Franks on the tight end play. He just does a nice job to the short side of the field. He makes himself big, and Covington did a nice job looking down the field. He had one option in the flat. You'll see the fullback go to the flat. He gets out a little bit late, so he decides, I'm going to go up the field because the cornerback comes up on the play before him. Number 24, Hicks, came up on the fullback, and that left the tight end wide open.
First down Miami with 1:42 to go at the Bruin 24. Get to Davenport. Davenport with room to the 15-yard line, 9-yard pickup.
Now the Canes have 1 timeout remaining, and it looks like he's going to be short of a first down. All they need is 3 points to tie, so you have to be careful what you do in this situation.
1:18 to go, and the clock now moving at the 15-yard line. I'll tell you what, anybody who left this football game early is a fool.
Well, everybody's standing up in the Orange Bowl. What do we have, 48,000?
46,000.
46,000. Everybody's standing up.
2nd and 1. Covington. Wide open, Nick Williams, the fullback. Nick Williams, touchdown!
Oh, no, he marked him out. He marked him out at the 1-yard line.
One ref signaled touchdown, the other ref marked him out. It's out at the 1-yard line. One ref signaled touchdown.
Covington's making a living on this short side field with the flood route, the fullback into flat, and the tight end going deep. It's really a high-low stretch. You see the fullback, the tight end, Fulcher deep, and the fullback, William short. It's a high-low stretch. UCLA has not had an answer for that play all afternoon.
First and goal from the 1. There's 54 seconds to go. Actually, it's probably a good thing because now you can take a little more time off the clock.
Exactly, but I'd rather have the points on the board.
Touchdown. I'm assuming they're going to score, which you can never assume. Williams resets. Edgerrin James with the pitch. Edgerrin James, touchdown Miami with 50 seconds left to play.
Short side play again by the Canes. Just a toss play to Edgerrin James. They did a nice job of moving Nick Williams up to the line of scrimmage just behind the tight end. They win the battle on the line of scrimmage. Art Kehoe's crew, they put strength on strength, and Miami wins. Edgerrin James goes in from the 1.
So with 50 seconds left to go, Miami has jumped back on top. It's 48-45. The all-important conversion from Andy Crossland. Popovich puts it down. Crossland's kick is good, and that means a field goal does UCLA no good. It's Miami by 4, 49-45, and now it comes down to this for UCLA. Their dreams of a national championship. They've got 50 seconds left.
Well, I think they've been in this situation a couple times this season, so, you know, Cade McNown, nothing big for him. He's had a great performance. He figures 50 seconds is a lot of time to move the football team down the field. But I think the key right now for Miami is Todd Sievers, the kickoff kicker for Miami. I'll get it out sooner or later,
I'll tell you
Frank.
why, I don't blame you, John. This is as exciting a ball game as we can see.
But they have to do a good job of kicking the football into the end zone to eliminate the return. Miami's been really, really weak on that. You see streak breakers. Since '83, UM has snapped 7 winning streaks of 10 games plus, and none would be sweeter than to snap a 20-game streak.
50 seconds left to go. Jermaine Lewis and Ryan Rock back to receive for the Bruins. Todd Sievers will kick it off for Miami. It's Miami 49, UCLA 45. There's the scoring drive. 8 plays, 74 yards, 2 minutes and 34 seconds, and Edgerrin James with his 3rd touchdown of the afternoon. And John, all set up by that questionable fumble call.
That's right. Wow, that's got to eat you alive.
Sievers will squib the kick. Picked up short and out to the 45-yard line. Number 49, Cheyenne Caldwell.
Now, that's something, I mean, the UCLA kickers have been kicking the ball 8, 9, 10 yards into the end zone, and we've seen the Miami kickers do that with some wind-aided kicks. That's just a strange play that he can't get it in the end zone, and I know Butch Davis was talking to him after the last kickoff saying, you know, we've got to create something. Maybe they want to change it up, but you got to kick that ball in the end zone.
Either that or pooch it high, because they've made tackles pretty much right after the guy caught the ball in that situation a couple of times. 42 seconds left. McNown stepping up in the pocket, dumps it off to Foster. Want to keep him in bounds. Foster got away from Leonard Myers. Oh, you got to wrap him up. Edward Reed made the tackle, inside Miami territory at the 43-yard line. He got away from Leonard Myers. You've got to wrap a guy up. Only 31 seconds left to go.
Well, there's 2 plays in a row that have the Miami fans shaking their heads and pulling out their hair because you have Foster in the backfield, or maybe to a minimal gain of 4 yards, and he just slips through Kane tacklers, and McNown still has 31 seconds left to go. They have 2 timeouts, but watch this. They've got him stopped. They're going to keep the clock running.
Go down
make
low.
him waste a timeout, and he gets away to get out of bounds.
Got to tackle him around the legs. McNown stepping up. Pass complete. There's a lateral play, and Miami almost picked it off, but Foster managed to hang on to it out at the 38-yard line.
That's about the same place when the Miami Dolphins did it against San Diego in this Orange Bowl.
Well, Miami almost got a hand on that pitch back.
I think Ham is getting a great jump on the top left of your screen. He's getting a great job on McNabb, and it almost looked like a hold, but he got by him. I think Ham's going to get to McNabb before this 24 seconds is over.
24 seconds to play from the Miami 37. McNown reloading, incomplete, and it's a good thing it was. Flag down at the 40-yard line. Let's see what the call is. Thrown by the official on the far side of the field. Offside Miami. Oh boy. That's going to give UCLA a first down inside the 35-yard line.
Well, it's pretty tough on a defense when you only have to go about 55 yards to get a touchdown in a situation like this.
Defense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
It's enough for a UCLA first down with 19 seconds to go. Well, we go back to the kickoff, John, and you know, they'd used that pooch kick a couple times and tackled the guy almost immediately. You wonder why they didn't go back to something like that.
Well, McNown 24 of 31 for 495 and 5 touchdowns going into this series. What an afternoon.
McNown out of the shotgun from the 32. McNown under some pressure. McNown will have to run it and skips out of bounds just inside the 30-yard line. So that took 8 seconds off the clock. There's 11 left.
Probably have 2 more plays to try to get into the end zone at the most, I would think. McNown talking with his coach, Bob Toledo.
11 seconds left to go.
Got to take a shot at the end zone here, or at least get it down in a... He's got so many weapons on the outside, but you're limited to what you can do. The ball's on the 30-yard line. You can't scramble long enough because you only have 1 play then. You know, they wasted a lot of time. It might have been better off just to burn it out of bounds and conserve some time.
2nd and 8. McNown. Michael Burrow got away. McNown down the middle. Ball is almost intercepted by Dan Morgan. Oh my goodness, Dan Morgan had a chance to clinch this ball game and just couldn't hang on.
McNown has been a step away from being sacked 3, 4, 5 times. Take a look at the bottom right of your screen. You see number 93, Michael Burrow. He has 10 quarterback pressures on the season. He can't get him, and then Ham almost comes a step away from behind. He can't get to him, but Morgan has the ball right in his hands and just doesn't come down with it.
All right, watch for a trick play. Drew Bennett, the backup quarterback, is in at wide receiver. He's split to the bottom of the screen. 4 seconds left to go. McNown stepping up. McNown throw into the end zone. Jump ball incomplete. Miami wins. Miami has pulled off the upset. The Hurricanes 49, UCLA 45, and the Bruins' dreams of a national championship died on the turf of the Orange Bowl.
And the Canes celebrate. They come out to the football field. You got to feel nothing but joy for this Miami team. How they came back from last week to a stunning upset right at home. This team showed a lot of heart and character today to come back only to win 49-45.
The Miami Hurricanes, 10-point underdogs, and facing the 2nd-ranked team in the country, pull off the upset. There's been a lot of talk about Butch Davis's record against ranked teams, and granted it hasn't been good, and faced with the sanctions that they were faced with, but this will quiet a lot of that talk as Miami pulls off a 49-45 game. Classic football game here at the Orange Bowl. This will nearly extend the Orange Bowl roar and the mystique of this place.
Well, you just can't say enough about the effort that was displayed coming out by this offense to try to keep up and score with UCLA. 49 points from Miami, and only last week they managed to get 16. This defense came up big when it had to. They allowed 45 points, but UCLA's been scoring on teams all season long. Just a terrific job by the Canes.
We got to take a breath. We got to pause, and we'll take a look at the winning touchdown from Edgerrin James. A 1-yard run, his third touchdown of the day, put Miami up 49-45. They win it. We'll be back on Sports Channel right after this.
There's never been a baseball season like this one.
There you see it, the final score at the Orange Bowl. Miami 49, UCLA 45. The Bruins' 20-game winning streak is over. Their hopes of a national title dashed. And John Congemi, just one of the most amazing football games, and I've witnessed a lot of them, especially in this place. I can't remember one that was as wild and crazy as this, with the possible exception of the Hale Flutie game.
And you don't even care that there wasn't much defense played on a 49-45 football game. The Miami Hurricanes, what a comeback from just 1 week ago that they were picking themselves off the ground in the Carrier Dome. They couldn't believe how they were overwhelmed. And then to come out against the second-ranked team in the nation in UCLA with all that firepower, and they made it look so easy. Cade McNown threw, I don't know, he threw for over 500 yards, 513 to be exact, and 5 TDs, 6 total. But, you know, Scott Covington and that offense just kept coming back, and Edgerrin James with 299. Just spectacular effort coming back to win this football game.
Let's take a look at some of the final stats as you see the pandemonium here at the Orange Bowl. Total offense, we'll add up those pass and rush yards for you. We'll do the math. 670 for UCLA, 689 for the Hurricanes. The time of possession pretty much even. The 2 turnovers were huge, and one a very questionable call. UCLA didn't get a break on that one, but you know what? You got to hold the football till you're down, and that's what you always tell your players. And Miami pulls off an upset, maybe not of biblical proportions, but certainly a stunner here at the Orange Bowl. Thanks for joining us here at the OB and for being with us all season long for Hurricanes football. Don't forget to see the Canes at the Micron PC Bowl at Pro Player Stadium. Football fans, don't miss Sports Channel's Sunday morning playbook. It kicks off at 8:30 a.m. with Dolphins Magazine, followed by the Tom Coughlin Show at 9 and the Jimmy Johnson Show at 9:30. Then at 10 o'clock, an hour and a half of in-depth NFL pregame coverage on Sunday morning NFL. That's all right here on Sports Channel. My personal thanks go to my broadcast partner, John Congemi. I'm Frank Fort. For everybody on our production crew, thanks to you guys, and thank you for joining us. Once again, the final score, Miami 49, UCLA 45. So long, everyone.